Okay, your first card, in the second card, your first card will be a Nine of Swords. Your second card is a Six of Cups. Third card is Eight of Swords. So you have this little wisp of emotions and memories with the Six of Cups, but it's in a sandwich with these swords here. Nine of Swords on one side, Eight of Swords on the other. Painful memories. You have Two of Cups reversed. A Page of Wands. This will be in the center of your spread as well. Nine of Pentacles. The Hermit. The High Priest. King of Wands. Interesting. You got some wands here, and of course I'll pull the outcome card after the main reading. Funny how these two major arcana cards popped up near in your future here. So some shifts will be coming for you near the end of the month, heading into the year. I mentioned this little interesting trio here. As I said, I'm just drawn to this combination because water and air, swords and cups. Sometimes there's a very small line that divides the energy of thinking and feeling and the way not just feeling, but the way we perceive reality. And all of the elements are intertwined. None of the elements ever exist on their own, just as water or just as feeling. Our experiences always overlap, whether we have the energy of earth, which is practical, the cups, which are about feelings and emotions and love, the swords, which are about air, which are about intellect and making choices, and then you have wands, which is about creativity and passion and motivation. They're always all existing all the time, but our life experiences, especially in relationships, as those things shift and change from day to day, certain events can have an influence on how our elements and our thinking and our feeling interact with each other as well. So that's why here in the past energy I saw the Six of Cups, which can even mean that for some of you Leos, you're dealing maybe with an ex-partner coming back, but there's a lot of worry surrounding those cups, a lot of anxiety about whether this person is coming back, and for some of you Leos, this can just be about maybe missing someone, but you're also missing. Those painful memories are also coming back. And it could be that some of you are going through that phase where you had a breakup and now you're wondering, should I go back with this person? Maybe for some of you, there could have been a phone call from your ex-partner or a potential love interest. And maybe things haven't changed, and so you're still in limbo with this person. That's definitely what I'm feeling from those first three cards. And then as we get here to the second row here, as we head further into September, and these cups might be telling an interesting story here. So we have that Two of Cups here, and it is reversed. And, it's not necessarily a big secret, the Two of Cups. A lot of people hope to see this cup whenever there are tarot readings because it is about love, commitment, soulmate connection, devotion, all those good things. So obviously when it's reversed, it can mean on several levels, a match that wasn't meant to be. There's no emotional connection, no love, obviously. But in other certain respects, it can mean a relationship that is going through a tough time. And sometimes when you get reversals, it's sometimes the oracle saying this situation is going to be topsy-turvy. There's an obstacle coming along, and you're going to have to get past this obstacle in order for this to be unreversed. But in general, it just means relationship problems. And that's perfectly understandable based on what I saw here with that sword, with that cup sandwich here. Lots of worry, feeling trapped. And the Nine of Swords, it's about energy vampires, being worried, people sapping your energy, people going after you, lies, gossip, the whole thing. And then the Eight of Swords is about feeling trapped and helpless, not knowing what to do. So yeah, I feel like some of you Leos are still dealing with that painful memories. Will this work again? Or some of you might actually feel trapped in a relationship. And there's a lot of turbulence going on with some of you right now. So I think it's interesting. That's when we start getting the wands showing up. The Page of Wands is in the center of the spread. And as you know, the pages can be beginners, or it can be about a message that's being delivered. It can mean just starting new. You see the young boy is excited, and so wands bringing that fire and that passion and creativity. I feel like some of you Leos are starting over in this relationship. And one scenario, especially with the Six of Cups here, is that some of you might be between two relationships. An ex might want you back, but should you move forward with a new person? So some of you could actually be in a literal sandwich here between two people. Another thing is that ex from the past might have given some of you a call. Sometimes the Page of Wands can be about receiving good news. Hearing something that makes you very happy. And I keep feeling that an interesting choice will be presented to some of you Leos, some happy news. Things weren't as bad as you thought over here with all the swords surrounding those Six of Cups. But I feel like there's a little bit of hope here, especially if some of you are in a breakup phase of your relationship. So that brings us to a Nine of Pentacles. So you have two nines. Remember, the number 9, it's a number of endings. It's a end of a cycle. And sometimes when you reach the end of a cycle, there are lessons learned, there are problems that are resolved, and you're about to tie things up and end it with the 10, and then you start over again with the Ace. And also the Nine of Pentacles is just simply about prosperity, good times, the best of the material world and the physical world. And so with this Two of Cups reversed, I think there needs to be some caution here, meaning the Two of Cups reversed can mean that there's still underlying issues. The love, this relationship has not developed yet, or it hasn't moved past certain issues or obstacles. Things are still unresolved. And you might be happy, oh, this person, we're going to see each other, or I heard from this person. And then you have the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, this physical feeling of joy and happiness, but it's only in the physical world. So not a lot of emotion, but lots of earth energy, the physical aspects of the relationship. So if you're happy, if some of you find that you hear from an ex, or you have conversation and you feel hopeful about the relationship, just be careful, because I feel like the oracle is giving a small warning that there are still issues with emotional commitment that are still between you two. This needs to be turned back up, but it feels as if this physical happiness, seeing someone again, getting back together, that the potential of that happening seems to be going on here in this second row. And then your future gets plenty interesting, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, these two major arcana cards decided to pull up here in your future. So there's going to be some interesting shifts here. And what this means here is the Hermit and the High Priest. They're very spiritual cards, by the way. And the interesting thing, especially since they're major arcana, pay attention to the symbolism of the hood or the robe. That's also significant as far as humbleness, seeking knowledge, going inside, going in depth to think about things. And sometimes it can mean being alone or separated or hiding. But the robe, I think it's interesting that these two major arcana cards with robe show up. And robes can also mean wisdom, authority. And so it seems as if you Leos, this feels weird, but it feels as if some of you Leos need to build trust, because the Hermit is all about seeking wisdom and guidance, being alone for a while. And then you have the High Priest, and the High Priest is about counseling. It's about wisdom. Sometimes it can mean actual legal advice. But the energy of the High Priest corresponds to the Hermit, because the High Priest can mean maybe you're getting counseling from someone else, answers from someone else, advice from someone else. So this is a very interesting pair of cards that showed up for you, Leo, and it feels as if they're, as far as the relationship issues, it feels as if some of you Leos might need to take a step back from the relationship and think things through a little bit clearly. And the other reason why is because you actually have this King of Wands showing up. And believe it or not, the King of Wands is a significator for Leo in this Witch's Tarot deck. So, and this happened with Cancer. I believe the Queen of Cups showed up. And that was their significator for Cancer. Same thing here. And I like it when a plan works out and when the oracle confirms certain things. So this is going to be an issue here in the relationships, Leo. Be careful. But I see that some of you Leos, the pain of the swords representing air nurtures fire. Some of you Leos, as far as this potential new romance or this breakup relationship, some of you might be having some second thoughts. This person, an ex-partner, might actually be calling some of you up, and you're like happy to see them. But then I think some of you, you're going to think about it a little bit more, and you might feel, wait, I need to pull back a little bit. I need to take a little bit more space. I need to think about if I'm ready to jump back in. So that's the scenario I kind of see for quite a few of you. Now the outcome card, interesting, more spiritual energy. You have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is also a good energy, because the High Priestess, she has things internally. The High Priest is an outward form of this spiritual wisdom, guidance, and knowledge. When you have the woman or the female energy, it's always passive. And so the High Priestess, I love her as far as relationship readings, because the High Priestess always keeps her cool. And she always trusts her intuition. And she never lets anything faze her. And if you ever think about the type of energy you need to have a fulfilling, committed relationship, have the energy of the High Priestess. Have your own balance have your own centeredness, where you trust yourself and you're all that you need. You don't need anybody else. And that's the energy of the High Priestess. She follows her guidance, her own intuition, which is giving her guidance. She doesn't need anybody's approval. And that's a good energy. I think that some of you Leos are just sort of pulling in your locus of control, getting your head together before some of you go back into the relationship, before you give something another chance or decide to take a chance. And yes, Leos can have a big reputation for being showboaters and needing a lot of attention. But I like this spread because it also means that you Leos have that slower internal energy to think things through and take time and to pause. Okay. So I feel like that's what's going to be happening for some of you Leos. Taking a step back and waiting before you make any big decisions with a partner or an ex-partner. Okay, so that was your reading, Leo. And as always, I want to thank my new subscribers and my new sponsors on Patreon. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys had a wonderful summer. And August was pretty much all the Leos' birthdays. We're now heading into Virgo. So I hope you Leos had a great birthday. And it was interesting. I think there were a couple of people like Barack Obama who had birthdays this month. So all of you Leos, you've been in good company. So I hope you had a wonderful celebration. Take care. I will see you next month. And as always, I wish you love and light.